At the Cliff House, Finn's still on the phone in the other room as Sheila crouches beside Hayes' playpen and tells him she's missed him so much. At Forrester Creations, Brooke rants at Taylor about respecting boundaries. Taylor denies she's trying to undo Ridge being her husband or Hope being Douglas' mother. It's just happening naturally on its own. The fact that Brooke thinks she's doing it to her tells her everything she needs to know. Brooke insists Taylor has an agenda. She's trying to uproot Douglas from a stable home. Taylor argues Thomas deserves to be with his son. Brooke questions whether he's ready for that. Taylor scoffs at Brooke, thinking she's the best judge of that. Brooke has been there, seen it, and witnessed it. Taylor reminds her that Thomas is Douglas' father. Brooke retorts that Hope is his adoptive mother and has as many legal rights as Thomas does. At the Forrester mansion, Liam surprises Thomas, who has just come in from a swim. Liam claims he was looking for Douglas. Thomas explains he's with Steffi and Kelly and asks why Liam wants his son. Liam is there to pick him up. It's time for him to come home. Thomas reminds Liam that Douglas is a Forrester, and this is also his home. He wants to be a full-time presence in his son's life and believes Douglas wants that. Thomas thinks Hope understands that, but figures that's not why Liam is there. At the Cliff House, Sheila lifts Hayes out of the playpen and coos, "Grandma loves you so much. I've hated being kept apart from you. It's the most painful thing in the world." She inhales the baby boy and kisses him. As she hears Finn wrapping up the call, she glances at the open patio door. Finn emerges from the other room to find Hayes in the playpen, but he wonders how his stuffed animal got out onto the floor. At Forrester, Taylor has always been grateful for the love Hope has shown her grandson, but she questions why Thomas signed the papers. They weren't together then. Brooke wonders if she also remembers the harm he caused. Taylor knows he was in a bad place mentally, which makes it very concerning that he signed legal papers. Brooke narrows her eyes. Taylor tells Brooke that Hope could still be in Douglas' life without signing paperwork. They have shared custody, but the thing is that Hope hasn't really shared. Douglas has spent the majority of his time in the cabin, but now it's time for Thomas to get his son back. It's time for the boy to be with his father and the rest of the Forrester family. At the Forrester mansion, Liam insists he's just there to pick up Douglas. He'll wait until he gets back. Thomas tells him to suit himself, but Douglas has a friend coming over for a cookout tonight. Liam chuckles and scoffs at the idea that he's a changed man. Thomas asks if he believes he loves his son and that his son loves him. Liam says yeah. Thomas feels that's all that matters then. He wants to be a father to his boy. He wants to deepen their bond. They've been getting closer, and he would think as a father he would respect that, and as a son, would encourage it. But instead, he's doing what he always does. Thomas warns Liam that if he comes between him and Douglas, there will be hell to pay. Liam insists that he's not trying to come between a father and son, but asserts that Douglas belongs at the cabin. How can Thomas not see how happy he is there? Thomas argues that he's happy there too, and Hope has seen that for herself. Liam accuses him of hoarding the kid and using it as a reason to get Hope over there. Thomas shouts at him to stop. "If you're insinuating..." Liam's not insinuating anything. He's telling Thomas to look in the mirror right now because he thinks his obsession with Hope is kicking back in. Zinn drops by the Cliff House with sketches to see his little cousins. Finn explains Hayes is sleeping and Kelly's out. Zinn muses, "To think you almost missed your chance at all this because of Sheila." Zinn points out he's also adopted and figures Finn must be going through a lot emotionally on the heels of what happened with Leigh and Sheila. Finn admits it's been a challenging time. He's just been focused on his family. Sheila's gone. I never have to worry about her or think about her ever again. She's never coming back. Back at Deacon's apartment, Sheila ruminates about holding her grandson again as she wipes off her face. I wish it could have been longer. Deacon comes in to check on her. She brings up Finn and Hayes, and Deacon reminds her what would happen if they found out about the bear scheme and that she's still running around free. Sheila dreams about being with her grandson. If only things could be different. If only. Deacon sits beside her and says he understands. He's a parent too. Hope is his whole world, but their situations are very different. She can never see Finn and Hayes again. At Forrester Creations, Brooke informs Taylor that Hope will allow Douglas to spend time with Thomas and the Forresters anytime he wants. Taylor reiterates that Thomas wants a permanent arrangement. Hope and Thomas share custody, but she hasn't been doing that. She's been keeping Douglas to herself. Brooke hollers that Hope stepped up and gave the boy a stable home when Thomas couldn't. Taylor shouts, and now he can. Thomas is ready to be a loving and devoted father to his son. At the Forrester mansion, Thomas feels they finally got to the real reason for Liam's visit. Liam tells him he's doing it again. He's keeping Douglas over there and luring Hope to come for visits. He's not getting invited, which tells him that Thomas is fantasizing about himself, Douglas, and Hope as a perfect family again. Liam tells him they both know what happens next. He'll lose control. His job is to protect Hope and Douglas, even if it's from Thomas. At all costs. At Deacon's, he feels for Sheila. He can see it's breaking her heart not being able to be with Finn and Hayes. That's how it has to be, however, and she needs to accept it. "Are you going to be okay?" he asks. Tucking her hair behind her ear, he gives Sheila a sweet kiss before heading back to work. Once alone, Sheila flashes to stroking Hayes' head and smiles. At the Cliff House, Finn tells Hayes he'll never let anything or anyone harm him. He notices the open patio door and walks over to close it before peering outside, puzzled.